Hello, everyone. All right. Well, welcome to Dragon Memoria. If you're a new viewer, greetings. If you're an old one, welcome back. So, last time we left in a very interesting place. All right, so for those who might just be joining us, last stream ended with the party doing something that everyone always says never to do. But before we get to that special mistake, a quick recap. Well, what happened was that the party decided to take it easy for a day after their long fight, after they barely managed to survive. They decided to take it easy, share whatever memories they had that came during the night, which for some was a revelation of what might be their purpose. For others, a different kind of revelation. They had a nice boat ride with Trevor falling very sick very easily. And after that, they just got to the next island for a quick stop just to make sure that everything was in order. They had half a day to do whatever they wanted, and the boat was going to leave next morning. Audience decided to go train with their new Naftan friend, while Trevor, Tobiyashi, and Valtteri decided to go shopping for special materials for spells at a mage tower. Well, a lot of unexpected thing happens in that tower, and Trevor finally decided that taking the boat was too much of a risk and let his anxiety toward boat travel make a decision for him, which ended in Valtteri, Trevor, and almost Tobiyashi deciding to leave poor audience alone and teleport to the next step of their journey. Fortunately for audience, Tobiyashi decided that this wasn't good enough, this was not fair for their fellow traveler, and decided to go back to town and warn him of what was going on. And this is when we left. The party split itself into two, with the main healer and the greatest DPS on one side, and on the other one, a fairly reliable but more of a meat shield character and a versatile one. And this is where we are. So, since we ended with Valtteri and Trevor, we're going to start with audience.
Alright.
You spent most of your day training with your new Naftan friend. Learned a few new tricks, learned a few places where you could learn more on the next island, and all in all, a good day, I'd say, for you.
Yes.
You know that you're going to meet up with your friends later on, at the latest tomorrow, because the boat is going to leave. So, right now, the sun is about to set. What do you do?
I will head to the local tavern and try and find a room for the night.
All right. Well, that's easy enough. It is a port city, so there are several ones. Nothing special is going on right now. Some people are starting to prepare for the solstice of light, but it's still almost a month away, so it's mostly those who are very enthusiastic about it that are just already starting to prepare for this. For everyone else, it's another day as usual. So you get in, you find a tavern fairly easily, with a name that you would expect to find in a port city. It's the Drunken Sailor Tavern. There aren't a lot of people. You see a few few patron in the establishment, but all in all, it's a very quiet evening.
All right.
So, what do you do exactly?
Can I leave and go try and find a tavern with a more buoyant atmosphere?
Yes, of course, of course. It takes you maybe an hour of wandering throughout the city, but you do find one that seems to have a bit more lively audience. There is even a bard playing, nothing special. He's just playing in the corner, soft little tune. But a lot of people have gathered to hear him play. It's most likely an half-elf from the features, male, and he's softly playing.
All right. I'm gonna wait till he finishes whatever song he's on and then go speak to him.
All right.
The bard.
Yes, of course. Well, it takes a few minutes, but after...
Actually, sorry. No, I'm first gonna go buy 2 drinks at the bar.
Yeah, sure. What sort of quality do you want? Do you want... It's a port city, so they have a fair
Just
variety.
Medium. I'd say medium quality, like, not like a a poor drink, but not like, a top end drink either. Like a solid mid tier. Probably just like a stout, two maybe like stout beers or something.
Yeah, so okay. Yeah, sure. So you ask for something of higher quality than average, but sure. The bartender is human. In his later years, starting to have a bit of gray on his head, and yes, he greets you very warmly. And as soon as you say what sort of ale you're looking for, well, sure, there's no problem. We had a very recent arrival from Estrin. It's probably something you'll like. We sell it at 1 silver for a mug. It's higher quality, but it's not something the nobles will ask specifically.
All right, I will pass over to Silver.
Very well. He pockets it, and he comes back after 5 seconds with a full mug and hands it to you.
A full mug or 2 full mugs? Because I paid.
Yeah, you asked for 2. Yes, of course. Well, if you ask for 2, yes, you will get you 2. Yes.
All right. Then I will wait for the bard to finish playing, and then walk over to him once I have my 2 drinks.
Yes, of course. Well, by the time that you get your 2L, you just see him finish whatever he was playing. And he's sort of preparing for the next song. He's looking through his scrolls to see something that would fit.
All right, I will walk over to him and say, "You play quite well, good sir. Here, let me whet your thirst." And I'll hand him one of the beers.
Oh, well, he looks at you and says, "Oh, well, that's very generous. That's very generous. And who might you be?"
I am Audience, a dragonborn recently arrived on the ship that just docked. I will be leaving tomorrow.
Oh, so you're only passing by.
Yes.
How do you like our fair city?
I have not had much time to explore it, I will say, but the parts I have seen have been quite lovely.
All right, all right. Well, I hope you will come back here during your travels because we have not as much as on Estrin, but still we have a fair amount of very interesting place to visit. And you know, we are very kind folks.
Yeah. I was wondering if I could request or offer you any payment to create a song for me.
Oh, well, that doesn't happen very often, but yeah, I can try, sure. What
All right.
sort of song would you like?
Well, it's an interesting piece. I was wondering if you could write a kind of epic, I'd say, song on how it was the you need to be a decent writer for this. How you to create a song on how the dragons created this world and how they are now gods, and kind of end with the big flourish, saying how like don't directly say people should worship them, but kind of like put the idea out there, and a song, an epic song for.
Okay. Is it something for a play or?
Not necessarily for a play. I just would like an epic song, getting the idea out there. I hope this wouldn't be too hard for you, a man such as of your talents.
No, no, of course it wouldn't be hard. It's just a little bit unusual. But yeah, sure, I'll gladly try. How long are you giving me?
Oh, take all the time. Take all the time you need. I care about quality over quantity. I'm sure I will not even be here by the time you perform it. I would just like you to, add it to your repertoire, let's say, and maybe play it at least once a week.
Okay. Sure. And how much are you willing to pay for such an order and such a request?
Well, how about this? How about I give you 10 gold now? And if I am ever... Well, no. How about I give you 5 gold now? And whenever I am back in this area, if the song is profitable, you give me 5% of the money you've earned solely on this song. From what you've performed.
I see. Make a persuasion roll.
Okay. That is, let me go to skills. Persuasion. That is an unnatural 20.
All right. Oh, well, all right. Might you be willing to sweeten the deal just a little bit? How about 7 gold? And the rest of the deal remains the same.
7 gold seems reasonable. As I said, I want your best work, and so I will give you 7 gold.
All right, all right. And would you like to be mentioned in this new tale, or would you like to remain anonymous?
I would not like to be mentioned, but if you could also, once you created this song, perhaps pass it around through some of the other bards, that would be much appreciated.
I will do my best. It is
Thank
a
you
very
very
unusual request, but yes, why not? It doesn't sound
All right.
a bad one or anything that would get me in trouble, so yes, sure.
Thank you very much. I will leave you to your good work and enjoy the beer.
Thank you very much. And he...
And then I'll go and kind of go sit down at some table.
All right. So you pay him right now?
Yeah, I just
Alright.
paid him.
Okay. So yes, he pockets the money, takes a long swig from the mug you gave him, and starts thinking a bit about it. After a few minutes, he starts playing again what he was planning to play. But yeah, you see him throughout the evening from time to time when he's taking a break, taking a few notes on a scroll nearby that he has with him, and then goes back to singing for the night.
All right. And that's pretty much all I'll do for that evening. The rest of the night, I'm just gonna kind of hang out and then go to sleep. To go back
Alright.
to the boat in the morning.
All right. Then we're going to. Okay. Yeah. No, I just
Yeah,
have to
party's
figure.
literally split 3 ways right now.
Yes. The hard part is figuring how to make this so it doesn't feel like I'm only giving attention to a single party. All right. So we're going to go with Tobiyashi.
Hey.
So you left in a hurry to try and get to audience as fast as you could.
Action.
Well, fortunately for you, there are 2 moons on this world, so there's a fair amount of light guiding you throughout the night, and the cloud cover is fairly light right now. So you mostly see where you're going. As I've said last time, it is not a thick wooded area. It's more of an underwood. So it's fairly easy to see, but I'm still going to make you do actually 2 rolls. I'd say nature roll and then a perception roll.
That's a 4 on perception.
Okay. What about nature?
That was 13.
13. All right. Well, you find it a bit hard finding your way during the night, and on a few occasions you do stumble. So at one point you sort of realize that you've left the road and are going into... Well, you're not sure where you are going, but because of your nature check, you manage to figure out that you're reaching the edge of the underwood at one point, and once you leave the underwood, you can easily see where you have to go. So, but it takes you, well, I'd say all night. I would have make you do a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Try and roll high.
Yeah. The idea. Oh, that's nice. 21.
Oh yes, it is nice. All right. Then in that case, I'm going to have you make an athletic roll, and the DC is not going to be very high, so you don't have to roll high.
Gotta keep switching, sorry.
Sorry?
15.
15. All right. But you do manage to keep a steady pace throughout the night. when you reach the port city, the sun is slowly rising. So you've been running and trying to find your way throughout the night. You've lost yourself a few times, but you eventually managed to find your way. Because even though you had a very poor perception roll, you still have a very strong passive perception. So it mostly means that you did poorly, but not horribly. However, I am going to give you a point of exhaustion because you spent all night walking and running.
How do I do this? Is there something I have to put on there?
Actually, I've
No,
never
it does.
given anyone a point of exhaustion on D&D Beyond. I'm not sure where you're supposed to write it.
Yeah, just click in the conditions square, and then down at the bottom it'll have exhaustion.
One.
Just put click on 1.
Oh, right, okay.
Wait. I couldn't hear any of that.
So, click the conditions box there next to the defenses and your armor class there, and then you'll see all the conditions, and exhaustion is down there at the bottom. Just click on the 1.
Okay.
You have disadvantage on ability checks now.
Until you
Okay.
finish a long rest. Or that someone blesses you with lesser restoration, I think, is enough. Alright, so
Oh
you...
my god, if you get to exhaustion level 6, you die. I never read
Yes.
that.
And actually, if you,
That's what-
just as a side note, if you ever want to get into a drinking contest, the drinking contest rule, for me, share points with exhaustion, because the side effects of being drunk are almost the same as exhaustion, except if you reach exhaustion because you're drunk, you're not dead, you're just pass out drunk. So you manage to find the port city as the sun starts to rise. You don't know where Audience is, however you are confident you will find him near the docks, because probably very soon, as so far he's always been someone who has woken up fairly early, he's going to be at the docks. What do you do?
Well, I go to the boat and check to see if he's there.
Alright, so Audience, do you follow your usual...
Yeah, I would have gotten up early and probably just head back to the boat to see if anyone needed any help, getting ready to head out.
Alright, well, the captain appreciates this, and of course he watches you come in very early and says, "Oh goodness, I didn't expect your party to be here so soon. That's very remarkable. So you can board the ship. We're going to leave in a few hours. You can board the ship, or you can help the crew get the few remaining merchandise on board the ship. It's going to be almost 3-day ride. We'll be arriving at the end of the second day."
All right, I will go help the crew member start, doing my thing, lifting the boxes.
Trying to impress the ladies. Alright, so Tobiashi, when you arrive slightly tired at the docks, you find Audience carrying box,
All right.
sending a few winks and a few flexing his muscles a few times whenever he sees a woman passing by.
All right. Would I be still on the dock, or would I be on the ship?
No, right now you're on the docks, and you see
Okay.
him just helping someone else carry boxes. So right now you're on the dock.
Okay, I would run up to him and kind of breathing heavily. Audience.
Oh, Tobiyashi, you look terrible. You look like you didn't sleep at all.
1 second.
Do you need some water?
Okay. Yes, but I need to tell you something first.
All right.
Freak. Really?
Go ahead.
Trevor and Valtar teleported to the place we're going to right now.
Did they now? Without us?
Yeah, they just left. I didn't know what to do. I didn't just want to leave you without you knowing. Well, I guess it's just me and you right now.
Oh, that's surprising. I mean, actually, but to be honest with you, never thought much of that Trevor fellow. Kind of weak and, always a little shady. But, I'm sad to see them go. But I'm glad you're here, my friend. Thank you for coming back to tell me. I'll miss Valtteri, though.
I hope they're okay. I heard something about they might get ripped to shreds, so I kind of got scared and didn't go. So I'm going to go rest now.
Dragons will be on their side then. Go take a rest, my friend. You look tired.
Yeah, I go into the ship and try to find somewhere to sleep.
All right. So, yes, you see everyone very busy loading up whatever is remaining from the cargo still on the dock. And without any problem, you easily find your way. You even cross the half-orc priestess on your way, who looks at you and says, "Oh, wow, you look terrible. What happened to you?"
I've been running all night to get here in time to get through the morning. Long story.
All right. Well, we have a few days. I enjoy long stories, especially on long and boring voyages.
Okay, so
take a few moments to recover. It's always easier to get through this when you're well rested, and I'm pretty sure since you promised to help during this journey, you will probably ask a few times to contribute while we're on the boat. So take a little rest. Make sure that you are in a better shape when we leave.
Most definitely. And then I go and I go to sleep.
All right.
I'm gonna go let the captain know about Valtteri and Trevor that they won't be joining us.
All right. Well, as when you arrive, how do you share this with him?
I'll say Tobiyashi just came and told me that Trevor and Valtteri will not be joining us, as apparently they have already teleported to our destination, so no need to wait for them.
Oh, well, that is unfortunate. They did promise they would help. Well, if you don't mind taking on whatever responsibilities I would have given them, I guess we'll make do with only the two of you. Oh, that is a shame.
I think so too.
Oops.
A little rude of them to just leave without telling anyone, but
Yes, well, especially since it was supposed to be their payment for this ride. So they found a way to have a free ride. Well, that's always disappointing, but, when dealing with humans, it's always possibilities, and, well, I was hoping this tiefling would be an exception to a very common rule, but, well, apparently not.
I will be happy to take on their duties. Have no fear.
Very well, very well. So we'll be leaving in an hour. They're almost finished. If you don't mind helping them finish, load up the few crates remaining, we'll be leaving in a little under an hour.
All right. I will finish helping.
All right. So you go down to the dock and you start moving the crates about, just trying to finish this very fast. And as you're about to go back to the ship, you see on the ground, well, there's a little something that catches your eye. It's small, red. It looks like a scale.
All right, I'll bend down to take a closer look.
Well, as you get closer, you start to see that it's a scale. Looks a bit like a dragon scale. It's very worn out. The sides are jagged and there are chips missing at the center, but there probably was something engraved or painted on it at some point, but it's so worn out, it's hard to make out.
I'll be like, that's odd.
Do you pick it up?
I will pick it up, trying to get a closer look.
As you bend down to pick it up, you feel something bump into you. You're Dragonborn, so you're used to having people bump into you, and, well, you barely feel it, and you know that they've hit something very hard, and this, you would say, that was a pretty hard hit for whatever hit you. For you, it's just a mild discomfort.
I'll kind of glance up.
You look behind you, and you see, sitting on the ground, rubbing his forehead, a small kobold.
I'll kind of look at him and I'll be like, careful there, small one. Watch where you are going.
He looks at you and says, oh, ouch. Oh, that was... Oh, I thought it was a stone wall. Hi. Sorry. I hope I didn't hurt you.
I'm quite fine, please. It's all right.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I didn't want to hurt anyone. Are you part of the boat that's leaving?
I am. Yes.
He looks nervously around him and says, would there be a way for me to get in?
Come with me. I will ask the captain. We actually are missing a few crew who we thought would be traveling us with right now, so if you're willing to work, he might be quite willing to let you on.
Work. All right. I don't know what I can do exactly. I'm not exactly like you. A bit more frail. As he stands up, you see that he's very lightly equipped. He's only wearing sort of brown tunic with a belt. You do notice he has a dagger on his belt.
What?
And several darts, all strapped on him. Some on his left arm, on his belt. And you can almost make out some that have been strapped to his back. Other than that, there's nothing that's very remarkable about him. He does have a backpack, so most likely was traveling.
All right, I will be like, and what's your name? So I may introduce you.
Oh, a name. Yeah. Well, whatever you want to call me is fine. I've been called many things. My compatriots call me Grim. The lady who took care of me after that, well, she also called me Grim, but not for the same reason. You can call me Grim.
Alright.
Or whatever else. You know, it'll work.
I will call you Grim, as that seems to be what you are most used to being called by.
Well, yeah, I just hope it's not going to be for the same reason as the others. All right, I'm following you.
All right, I will take him back on the boat.
So he does follow you. He looks a little apprehensive of everything around him, but other than that, follows you from very close.
Okay. I'll go find the captain.
Alright. I just want to know, he bumped into you just before you tried to pick up the scale. You didn't say...
No, I still picked up. I was going to mention... I thought I'd already had it because I brought it up to my... No, I still pick up the scale.
Okay. Well, when you tried to pick up the scale just after he bumped into you, it was gone.
Oh, okay. I'm like, huh, that's odd. But I don't really think too much about it. It was just a scale. Nice. Lead him onto the...
Alright. So, you get on the boat. You can find the captain fairly easily. He's on the main deck, ordering the last few cargoes to be placed properly and making the last preparation for the ship to leave. So how do you...
Right. I'll walk up to Moon. I'll be like, Captain, I have a kobold here. Grim's the name, who wishes to request something of you. And I'll kind of push Grim in front of me. Like, go ahead. Say your...
Oh, I'm the one who has to talk. Okay. So the captain looking at it. Well, what do you want? I want to go back to Estrin. You want to go back? And how exactly do you want to pay for this? And he looks at you, audience, and say, I don't have a lot of money.
How much do you have?
Oh, actually, I only have a few coppers. They sort of took my money when they shipped me.
Who shipped you?
Well, they said they were going to help me. There were humans. They said that they were going to help me get to where I was going, where I needed to go. But, well, I didn't end up where I needed to go, and I thought I was going to get on a boat, but they put me in a crate.
That's unfortunate.
You hear the captain say, well, oh, yes, sorry for your bad experience. But this is a merchant ship. We don't take a lot of passengers unless you are willing to work for your travel. And immediately when he says that, you see the kobold say, work, yes, I can work. What do you want me to do? He said, well, I don't think you can carry a lot of inventory on you. Well, I'm sure we can use deckhand. There are a few livestock we've taken. And immediately you see the kobolds. Oh, livestock! Yes, I'm good with those. Are they big? Do I need any special equipment to take care of them? No, they're just normal livestock. Oh, okay, so it's not gonna be a grim task. I'm not going to get eaten if I make a mistake. Alright, I can do this. That's very easy. So, the captain looks at you and says, are you willing to vouch for this?
I look at Grim and I'm like,
he looks back at you, smiling as best as a kobold can.
I'll kind of turn back to Grim and Asvi. As one with at least a little dragon blood in him, although not that much, I'll feel the need to at least vouch for him in this case.
Well, definitely when you say this, you see Grim trying to smile even wider. Though I'm not really sure how this can be accomplished, but it does give him a really odd grin to what he's trying to express, which is, you believe, is gratitude. So I said, yes, I have dragon blood. I have dragon blood inside of me. I know I have it. I've told everyone where I was from that I have dragon blood, and they didn't believe me. But the nice lady did.
So I'll first turn to the captain and be like, so will you accept him?
Well, if you vouch for him and you did keep your deal, your end of the bargain, contrary to the other members of your party. So yes, well, you do seem someone who can be trusted, and you seem to trust him, so very well. He's going to be your responsibility, though, while we are doing this. So if he strays, it's going to be on your head.
Very well. I'll turn towards Grim. What nice lady were you mentioning?
Oh, the nice lady. Well, she found me when I was patrolling for my clan, and she took me in, taught me magic.
Ah, you know some magic, do you?
Yes, I know magic. Not a lot of it, but yes, I know magic. And she said that I do have dragon blood. She was very nice. She made me take care of some of her pets.
So you're good with animals, are you?
Oh yes, they love me. Sometime more than I'd like, but yeah, they love me.
Awesome. Well, for right now, we're just getting ready to leave, so I am waiting for any orders from the captain about any of my duties, so we'll just wait here until we're ready to leave. If you're hungry or thirsty, food, water's that way, and I'll point kind of towards where the kitchen is. You can go ask. Yeah, I will let you know if there's anything that the captain wants you to do, and I will pass it on.
Okay. Well, that's nice. And this time I get to travel on the boat. I'm gonna get to see some things. That's cool. I like this. It's more fun traveling like this.
All right.
And he just trails off toward where you are pointing and says, "Thanks. See you later."
See you. God, he's adorable. That's out of game. He's so cute.
Can the group keep him?
So the audience has a kid now, basically.
Already a dad.
Yep.
All
to be
right.
fair, no wait. Never mind. Actually.
What? No, go ahead. Say this.
No, I was just gonna make it. I was like, knowing the way I am with ladies, I might not be my only kid by the end of this campaign. But, what?
Yeah. Oh.
Might leave a little souvenir on each island you visit. You never know.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to see what happens when a dragonborn and a human mix. I'm not sure they're really compatible for babies, but you never know.
At least have some fun, maybe.
Well, a lot of dragonborn aren't necessarily prone for long-term relationships, so a lot of them make marriage of conveniences.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
But in this world, dragonborns have been around for longer than in other realms, so they are sometime long-lasting union. But they haven't gotten rid of the good old traditions either. So we go back to Valtteri and Trevor, who for them is still the beginning of the night, and have just teleported into what looks like a relatively small stone room. The moment you materialize, for Valtteri, this is a bit of an unusual experience for you. It is not a teleportation circle, it is an actual teleportation. So for a moment, when Trevor tells you to brace yourself, you suddenly feel all of this magic energy gather around you and absorb inside of you, and for a moment you see the world around you starting to share place with this other environment, which is inside another room, but much smaller and with stone walls. And for a moment it feels like you're in both places at the same time, and just as you realize this, you feel your body starting to get ripped apart, but just before it starts to hurt, the world comes back into focus, and you're in this room, this round, small room with dark gray rocks. On the ground, you see the several rooms, which would probably fit with what Trevor was trying to describe. And Trevor, well, you've experienced this once before, just because your teachers wanted to show you a little bit of what was coming. So it's not something you've never experienced, it's just, well, the second time you experience this. And you're in this room with nothing lit, but there is a little source of light, and then you hear the wizard who just did this address both of you and says, "Well, I don't believe our deals include getting you out of this. So, good luck and farewell." And as he says that, you see something glowing from under his robe, and he disappears. And just as he says this, you feel magical energy coursing through you. You see a few torches lighting up around you. And Trevor, I'd say make an Arcana check.
Alright. Let's say 13.
13. Well, you are familiar with what you're feeling right now. You're being probed by a detect magic spell, and as soon as this ends, you feel another energy that you haven't experienced yet. Do you just keep wondering what's happening, or do you want to try and do something?
Is there any doors to the place or anything? To the room?
There is one way out. Staircase that leads up.
Alright, I'll tell Valtteri, come on, let's see if we can at least let somebody know we're here, which I'm sure they already know, but I'll try making my way to the staircase.
As you tell her that you are going to try and make your way, you both have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. It's 17 for me.
Oh, wow.
Plus 5.
Math.
12 plus 5, so...
19.
Wow, all right. Well, you both feel some magic trying to take hold, but it doesn't seem to work. It just washes on you, but it feels like something was trying to grasp you, to hold you in place.
As I'm coming up the stairs, I'll just...
You just manage to reach the bottom of the stair, and you have to make another wisdom saving throw.
Okay. And I'll start
Me
yelling.
too?
Yes.
I'll start yelling, hey, I came here from the other school if anybody's around. So that's a 10, so it's 15.
Okay.
Not natural 20.
All right. Well, you both feel again magical energy coursing through you, and Valtteri, you managed to shake it off. Your mind was starting to get a little bit foggy, but you managed to shrug it off. However, Trevor, when you try and move and talk, your voice sounds a fair bit lower, and you are sluggish in your movement. Valtteri, you see Trevor trying to move, and it feels like he's trying to wade its way into through a marsh. Trevor, you have been affected by a slow spell.
Right. Half movement in action. Yeah.
Valtteri, how do you react to this?
I'm lightly looking at him confused, like, are you okay? Is everything alright?
Not really.
As he answers this, Valtteri, you feel what a few moments ago was merely a feeling of frustration and a little bit of disappointment that was aimed toward you. You now start feeling a sense of utter panic as you see Orina materialize on your shoulder. Whatever spell was keeping her invisible is fading off. Trevor, this is the first time you see this. You see appearing on Valtteri's shoulder a small dragon-like creature with red scales and a sting at the end of her tail.
What the fuck is that?
I'm looking like back and forth of the two of them, and like, that's my friend Orina.
You notice that she doesn't move at all. She's still on your shoulder, but she's not moving at all. She's frozen.
Is she blinking and breathing?
Well, she seems to be breathing, but she's not moving. She's barely blinking. And she is panicking. Angry, scared.
I carefully take her off my shoulder and keep her in my arms to kind of secure her and protect her.
As you do this, you start hearing a little hissing sound inside the room, and you start seeing gas coming in. Trevor, Valtteri, and Arina. Well, I can roll for Arina since I did this. But Valtteri and Trevor, I'll have you make a Constitution saving throw against poison.
Shit.
Is there anything special with poison when you do a Constitution saving throw, or is it just...
It's just a saving throw, a Constitution saving throw, but I'm mentioning poison because if you have resistance, you might have advantage and so on.
Okay. I have a not natural 20.
19 for me, 16 plus 3.
All right. Well, there is... Oh, I didn't check what happened when you succeed the saving throw for this one.
Well.
All right, so... Well, the room fills with this yellow, greenish, nauseous gas, which is extremely uncomfortable. You do manage to not start hacking and coughing, but it is a bit hard on you. And as you see this smoke filling everything, Trevor, Valtteri, do you want to do something?
Well, even at my half movement, I'm still slowly trying to make it up the stairs. Come on.
I'm gonna touch Trevor's shoulder and use Long Strider, which is a spell. And now his speed is increased by 10 feet.
I am going to make you do a concentration check to make this spell.
How do I...
It's a constitution saving throw with only your bonuses.
So
unless you're proficient in constitution saving throw.
No. So without my modifier.
Yeah.
Right.
Like on your saving throws area, you should have one for con, like minus
16.
16. All right. Well, you managed to cast the spell, but unfortunately, you do recognize that as you cast the spell, you see the energy come out and you're feeling being suppressed. And it just doesn't do anything.
Okay. Well, fuck.
Trevor yell out, fucking dispel magic. And just kind of yell slowly, could someone shut this off?
As you, just as you say this, I'm gonna both make you another, I'm gonna both make you do another Constitution saving throw.
This is bad.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna black out.
You tried
now.
to materialize in the middle of a magic school in the middle of the night, unannounced. You sort of triggered defenses.
Announce myself.
You sort of triggered defenses.
Yeah.
17.
I'm trying to let people know I'm here. That was a 13 for me, 10 plus 3. So that's,
right.
I think I'm blacking out.
No, actually, as you start talking, you don't hear yourself talking. Valtteri, you do hear what he is saying, though.
Can I take him by the hand and start pulling him while trying to run up?
So Trevor, as you try to talk, you don't hear any sound coming out of you. You feel your throat vibrating as if you were talking, but you don't hear anything. But Valtteri does seem to react to what you're saying.
And Ezra Glenn was like, "What the fuck now?"
Yeah, I'm gonna try to take him by the hand and start running him.
You start pulling him, and you do feel some resistance because even though he's trying to move fast, he's stuck in a slow spell. And as you do manage to start climbing the stairs, everything goes black. You're still conscious, but you can't see anything.
I'll just wait. Even with dark vision.
Yes.
Okay. I'll try to carefully go up the steps, trying to memorize how they were looking like from like the height and distance of each stair.
Trevor, at any point, you can make an Arcana check when it comes to spell to know if you know what's going on.
That's a 12 plus 6, so 18 on that.
All right, so right now you believe you are under the effect of a slow spell, a deafness spell, and a darkness spell.
Out of character, I kind of figured that's what all was going on, but you know.
So,
yeah, since I know since I pick up the other deafness and others could hear me, I'll tell her, leave me here, go find somebody and explain, please.
You hear this, and just as you are about to react to this, the world goes black for you, and so does for Trevor, and you're asleep.
Great.
How does that vote sound now, guys?
It's a school. It's not going to be lethal countermeasures, but still.
Yeah, I just gotta explain everything. It's an inconvenience.
I had a list of everything that was happening round by round as you were trying to make your way out of this room. Every saving throw for every spell that was cast on you.
Wait, but for the sleeping spell, we never had to make a wisdom saving throw.
For the sleeping spell, it's a hit point base spell.
Okay.
So it's based on how many hit points the spell can subdue, and unfortunately, all three of you...
It's so low level, it was way overkill, I'm sure.
Yes. Valtteri, Trevor, and Orina all fall asleep.
I keep her like in my arms.
I imagine Tao too, because he was probably on my shoulder, so yeah.
Oh yes, I forgot to make saving throws for Tao.
I'm sure he would have failed him anyway. You know, he doesn't have high, it's only like +3s to stuff, so he would eventually fell asleep too.
Well, the sleep spell, of course. The sleep spell was the last countermeasure in case you succeeded too many saving throws, which a lot of you actually did.
I am proficient in my wisdom save, so yeah.
Same for me too, so yeah.
My modifier there is a 6, so yeah.
So, when you come back to conscience, yes?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, at least we get a rest now.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, does my spell slot not go back?
No, you use the spell. The entire room was covered in a dispelling field.
Okay.
They sort of know that if you materialize inside a school where there is a circle, where there's a teleportation circle, it's probably because you know how to use magic. So one of the first countermeasure was a dispelling field.
Okay.
So, you don't know how long you stayed asleep. But, yes, you do wake up, feeling a little bit groggy. You're in a room surrounded by a few wizards. You're sitting on a chair in front of a table. The room is lit by what looks like a light spell cast on a small orb on a wall. In front of you there is a elderly man, wizard. He has his robes. Human. Sitting beside him, you see an elven wizard. So it's a lot harder to tell how old he is. But he's a male also. And you see sitting at the completely at the end of the room, behind them, you see a woman, silver-haired, but she's fairly young, beginning of her 30s. She's not wearing a robe like the two others. She is wearing what looks like shirt and pants, but she is wearing a sort of purple riding coat, which sort of is a bit odd on its own. Wizards don't usually wear that, so it does tell you that this one might actually be someone who has adventured before. When you wake up, this is what you're greeted by. Valtteri, you don't see Orina anywhere.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, where is she? I'm lightly panicking when I look around.
When you look around, you start feeling her. Okay. She is pissed at you. You feel this anger. You don't see her, but you know she is angry, mad at you.
God damn it. I'll ask them where they took the little dragonish creature.
You see the human wizard say, "Don't worry, your friend hasn't been injured. Though I'm not sure she's going to be your friend for very long unless you've been treating her extremely well. She's behind you."
Okay. And why are we in this room now?
Because you broke inside of a school in the middle of the night unannounced. And he takes something on his knees and he shows you your 2 coins with these.
First of all, we didn't really broke in. We teleported from another school. So
yeah, we both wake up at the same time. I mean, am I awake as well?
Oh, yes, you both woke up at the same time. So anytime you can just jump in.
Okay. Is Tao here too, or did they take him somewhere?
Probably behind you.
No, Tao is not there, although you don't feel him as having been dispelled. So he's probably back in his extra-dimensional pocket.
Gotcha.
Forcefully put there, probably.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, he said I'm an alumni from the Sulston Tower on the other island here. I got a favor from another mage there to bring me here. Sorry, we came unannounced. We're kind of in a hurry. Yeah, those coins were delivered to us by a messenger. We're still trying to figure out what they are tied to. I do know they have some magic to them. Part of it I was able to figure out. Another I wasn't so sure of. There are 2 more of us coming. They're just on a boat.
Oh, so there's more. And you all have these coins?
Yes, apparently we were all delivered them with identical letters. We're still trying to figure out where this gardens is. We just know it's on this island.
Yes, we've heard about this, but so far none of our students have received this summon. It's very interesting that one of our own actually has one. And this is why you're here and not in a dungeon. And he looks at both of you when he says that.
I appreciate that. If it wasn't for this coin, I would not be here.
Well, that's very interesting. So it means you would prefer to keep them.
Very much so. Until we can at least figure out if we need them. If they're not required after our meeting and no longer of service, you're more than welcome to keep them and study them if we no longer need them, at least mine.
Well, actually, this is why we wanted to talk to you. He turns toward the woman at the end of the room and said, Diviner, please, would you explain this to our new friends? She comes closer. As they said, they called her Diviner. So, Trevor, you anticipate that she has specialized in divining school. She takes both coin from the hands of the elder wizard and says, they're very interesting.
Yeah, I thought so myself. Could you tell me what the other magic is? I've gotten the beacon part out of them, and the magic changed when it came closer with others, but I wasn't quite able to figure it out.
Oh, actually, this is only a kind of attunement. It wasn't because they were with others, it was because it spent time with you, meaning it's attuned to you, which is why we need you, or at least they need you. You see, the spells around these are special. They are so far behind our own knowledge of the arcane. We would very much like to know more. But unfortunately, the spells on them, well, they're not actually there. This is only a tether.
What?
The actual spells are held somewhere else. This is only a tether, just a rope, if you will, tied to this. And this rope is so heavily protected, no spell we were able to use on these was even able to break through. Whomever made this has protected them so efficiently, we can't read anything. So, because of this, I believe this gentleman over here, and she points toward the elven wizard, has a request. As she says that, the wizard just looks at both of you and says, "You're going to attend your meeting. And you're going to find a way to plant this somewhere." And he reaches into a pouch and takes out what looks like a marble, a bit larger than a normal marble, and says, "You're going to plant this somewhere that you believe will not be found easily. It'll help us figuring this out. And once we are able to, we will probably contact you if we need to. You are going to be our eyes and ears in this."
What does this marble do?
That's
We're
none of
trying
your
to
concern. It is harmless. That is all you need to know.
Just Trevor look back at her, just give her a wink, like, don't worry, it's okay.
I'm like looking at him like, are you sure?
And he's just sitting here with a grin on his face,
Okay.
Not like a smug grin, just happy that he's getting out of this, But inside, he's a little smug, like, it's almost like you need me more than I need you kind of thing. So, but we could go in a dungeon too. So, but yeah, he's keeping all that to himself.
So, we still need to go back to the...
Yeah, we still have to go to the
Port
port city to meet our friends that are coming on the boat.
Yes, we would rather that whomever might be responsible for this doesn't suspect that you've actually are taking orders from us. We'd rather that you keep going as if you hadn't met us. So yes, you will be going back to wherever you were supposed to be. And diviner Antasia here will be your guide. As soon as he says that, she says, "What?" You see the elder human wizard say, "Yes, you are going to escort them." She, "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are. It is in the same direction as you're going, no?" "No?" He looks at her with those eyes that says, "Can't you follow a cue, moron?" She looks at him and lets out a long sigh. "Apparently, I have to chaperone you. I want to be able to talk to those two whenever I want. This is my price." You see the elven wizard say, "Fine, we'll give you the arcane frequency of the device."
Trevor just kind of rolls his eyes like, "You guys just figure this out so we can go." But he will say, "Can we get a rest here tonight? It is pretty late."
I also wanted to ask if you maybe also know more about the garden and maybe a better area of where it might be.
Well, you hear the elven wizard say, "No, this is your job now. You are going to tell us. Don't worry, we'll keep in touch very closely."
But that doesn't help. Do you have books about the garden or anything?
"No, you're here to give us more information. We don't have any information to give you."
Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay.
You hear Antasia say, "You realize that they're asking you to be spies. This means you're going in blind."
Yes,
maybe they already had some research. Who knows?
I wouldn't have to chaperone you if they had.
It's like, yeah, but what other choice do we have? What if we refuse?
Well, you hear the human wizard say, well, if you refuse, you don't get your coins back.
I'll just look at Valtteri and say, see? But yeah, I've gathered that they know as much as we do at this point, so.
Yeah.
So we'll agree. I'll try and find a good place to stash it. And I can't promise they'll find it, because who knows what safeguards they might have in place, just like we found here.
Well, even the most advanced of civilization has its limits. This is a very special device. We are most confident they will not detect it.
Okay.
So you hear...
Reach his hand out and say, give...
Diviner Antasia gives you back your coins and says, all right, come on, when did you have to be at... Well, where are you going exactly? Where do you have to be and when?
First, Fort City in
3 days.
roughly. 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
I'm not really sure how long the trip was going to be.
Well,
they said between 3 to 4 days.
Well, usually the trip from the islands to Estrin is on an average of 3 days. But if they leave very early, they might get there at the end of the second day.
Okay.
Well, they wanted to go early, so they would probably be there at the end of the second day.
Very well, so we'll have to make haste. I guess I'll go and get my wagon.
When she says have to make haste, Trevor says better than slow.
Well, unless you told them to wait for you, you're going to have to get there either before them or at the same time. So we'll be riding all throughout the night. Don't worry, I have a Vardo. You can rest in it. And okay. I'll do my best to get you there in 3 days.
Very well.
Can I have my friend back?
When you say this, you hear the elven wizard get up. He goes at the back of the room, takes a cage, and brings it inside. And he looks at you with a grin and says, "Here's your pet." And you hear Orina say, well, you feel Orina get even more angry and hear,
"She's not a pet, she's a friend." Like, I'm now looking at him like really angrily. And why would you put
asshole.
her?
He just smiles and grins at you as you say this and lets you take the cage. Don't worry, it's not locked.
Yeah, I quickly open it and take her out.
As you try to take her out, you find that the door doesn't open. Oh, I mean, it's not locked, but you can't get her out until you're out of the school. Sorry, I should have mentioned it.
I don't like this guy.
Too bad you guys don't have compelled to duel like I do.
Your microphone is too far.
Yeah, it's away. I barely heard you, but
it was enough to hear you, just not clearly.
Yeah, and I'll just say to Valtteri, yeah, if they get high enough in the magic, they tend to get kind of snobby. I'm gonna try and keep from that if I can.
Yeah, I hope you won't be like them. Can we quickly get out of here so I can.
So you follow Diviner and Tassia?
Yes, and as soon as we get out, I try to get Orin out.
Yeah.
Well, just as the wizard said, as soon as you leave the school ground, the door of the cage just... and you can open it very easily. But as soon as you do, Aina just storms out of the cage, not letting you touch her, and she goes invisible. And you feel her going very distant. You can still feel her, but all you can feel is a burning anger toward you.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, about that time we get out, I wave my hands and, Tao comes out of his pocket dimension and back up on my shoulder.
He looks at you. He looks at you slightly. Trevor. Tao looks at you slightly irritated, but not at you. Just irritated at what happened.
Yeah, trust me, I'm just as irritated.
I'm just throwing the cage away as far as I can, and then go to and follow them.
You follow the diviner, and she leads you to... it looks a bit small for a group of 3 people. But it's a Vardo, very discreet one. No very visible, no ostentatious writing or runes or whatever. It's really made for discretion. It looks a bit small, but she gets on it, saddles 2 horses, and said, "Get inside. There's enough place for both of you to sleep. It's going to be a 3-day ride. Don't touch anything inside. There's someone watching you if you do. I'm warning you."
Trevor will climb in and get situated.
Yeah, well, I follow.
Inside the Vardo, it's oddly enough a little bit more spacious than what you would have expected by looking at it. You suspect there is some sort of spell in there, making more room than there should be. It's very comfortable, and at the end of the Vardo, you do see something watching you. You see 2 eyes in a dark corner, just staring at you.
I poke Trevor and ask, what is that?
Trevor just gives it the finger.
You hear? Same to you.
Yeah. Just keep to yourself and we'll keep to ours. And he'll look at her. I don't know.
So you don't get to see much of the school. You were taken through very dry corridors. Does feel like you were taking a stroll through corridors that were meant to show as little as possible, and when you get out, you are really just in front of a huge wall, so there's no scenery. You can't see anything except the skies, which you can identify is the morning. So you've been in there at least an entire night. So you get in, the door closes magically, and you feel the Vardo moving.
As soon as we start moving, I turn around to her and say, "What the fuck was that? And when were you going to tell us about it?"
That was my I hope still is Friend Arena. It's a pseudo dragon, if you maybe heard of those kind of creatures, and
you can make an Arcana check to see if you, because it is a magical creature, so Arcana would cover it.
Worship the dragon.
13, 7 plus 6.
Well, you've only heard of them. You've never seen one. You might have seen one in pictures, but you've just heard about them, and you don't know much.
Okay.
And well,
you know they're usually very good and good-natured, so she might have been slighted by the fact that you left party members behind.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's hard to tell anything else.
Well, I guess you're just lucky I seen it that way. I mean, if it just appeared, I might have firebolted it, thinking it was an invisible creature messing with us. So I guess be glad it happened this way.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would have enjoyed another circumstance of you meeting her, but
you could have been open to start with.
She is shy, so she doesn't really show herself immediately to everyone. She didn't with me either, so yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's a bonding period that I had to do with Tao as well, so.
I hope that bond between her and me is now not completely gone after all this.
Oh, trust me, I've pissed him off plenty, and he's come back. He probably needs some cool-off time.
Well, Valkyrie, you know from what your parents told you about Pseudo-Dragon, they don't have a high tolerance for being mistreated, but they're not going to leave at the first problem. But like I said, they don't have a high tolerance. They will leave fairly easily if they are mistreated.
I don't like how they treated her in there, so that's probably because it's not okay to call her a pet. They are not pets, they're friends and companions,
Yeah, I definitely feel you there, yeah. He's an image of, I guess what you could say, of a friend I had a long time ago, so I totally understand. So. But we got a long trip. We can talk about this more tomorrow. I'm quite agitated and annoyed, and I'm going to get some sleep. So he will go off into a corner, sit down, write in his journal for a little bit, and now that somebody's actually with him when he goes to sleep, you'll see him pull out a children's book, actually, and start reading from it for about 15, 20 minutes. Then close it and lay down and go to sleep.
All the while, you see those two eyes at the end of the Vardo watching you silently.
Still feel uncomfortable with that.
Well, I would say I probably know that he's still watching me. I'm like, will you go to sleep as well? We're going to sleep. Just mind your own business.
Same to you.
He just gives him another finger while he's laying down there.
I'm just shaking my head lightly and trying to make myself comfortable and also going to sleep.
All right.
Well, I was gonna say while he's laying there, before he actually goes to sleep, but he won't get up or anything. But he say, "Well, how'd you like to teleport? It's a rush, ain't it?" Like, it's only my second time, but I can't wait till I can do it all the time. It's one of my favorite spells.
I think I have enough of teleportation for the moment.
It's quite the rush once you get used to it. Which I don't think I'll ever get used to it. That's why I like it so much. About 2 minutes later, you hear. snoring away.
Question, can you see the stars from where we're sitting? Like, is there like a little gap from some... Or is it like a completely closed thing where we're inside?
I'd say... No, actually, there is a small window on the top of the Vardo that lets you see the stars.
Okay, then I'm watching the stars while I'm also slowly falling asleep.
All right. We've reached our usual break.
But I don't need one this time, really.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe those watching actually do
Yes.
need one. So we're gonna take a 10-minute break, and immediately when we come back, we're going to go back to audience and Tobiyashi on
I
their
was
boat
gonna say,
ride.
audience needs a walk around. He looks like he was about to fall asleep there. So
Yeah, I was also like a little bit worried
yeah, I
because I
see
just
the audience
saw, like,
over here, like
half of his head and like...
Well, this is one of the reasons why it's not as fun when you split the party.
could make for some interesting stories in the end, though. Well, I
Yeah.
know we sure got one now.
All right, well, see you in 10 minutes, everyone.
All right.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hey. Sponsored by Capri Sun. Actually. Sorry. Just kidding.
All right, so we go back to audience and Tobiyashi, who have just finished preparing the ship, and actually everything goes rather well, and you leave port very easily. Yes,
Would I still be exhausted?
you'll need a long rest, so yes, you will.
Oh gosh. Okay.
You will have to work throughout the day while slightly exhausted. But actually, during the day, so you get to meet the crew a little bit more. The first time they let you do your own thing because it was only half a day. It was maybe 10 or 11 hours. But now you're going to be on the boat for nearly 3 days. So you quickly have to get to helping the crew, and the first thing that First Hand does is to evaluate what you're good at. So he just makes both of you, audience and Tobiyashi. I think he's gone. Oh, okay, he's there.
I'm back, sorry.
So he just has you make just a little test to see how perceptive you are. Just looking at the horizon, asking you to tell him what you see. We're good. We're gonna go with perception roll for both of you.
Do I
12.
have disadvantage?
Yes, you are at disadvantage.
Nine.
Whoa.
I could see better than.
Yes, when the First Hand asks you what you see on the horizon, Audion actually managed to see more things that Tobiyashi does right now. But as he keeps asking you this question, fortunately for Tobiyashi, because he has such a high passive perception, it does equalize slightly. Meaning that after an hour, you both seem to have a very similar perception.
Hey.
Which probably audience finds a bit funny because he probably realized Tobiyashi is usually more perceptive than him.
not been on the sea that long.
Tobiashi's like, I see sleep on the horizon.
What he sees.
There is a sun, and there is a moon, and war. And then audience says, I see a seagull!
Oh, gosh.
First mate says to both of you, well, since you are, neither of you is extremely perceptive, we're going to have you go with maintenance. Audience, there is a fair amount of work to do below deck. You will most likely help the crew make sure everything stay well secured, and after that you're going to go back on deck. Just help them man the sails, make sure everything is at the right place. You're a fairly strong fellow. You're probably going to be able to help them maneuver the sails properly whenever we have to make course change. As for you, Tobiashi, well, we'll have you go with cleaning and helping in the kitchen. Because, well, to be honest, you don't appear to be an extremely strong fellow. On a boat, I'd say you probably look average, because most of the people there are slightly above average in their strength because of everything they have to do. So you really look average in there.
Okay. Seems legit.
However, they are going to... Well, actually, no, you are fairly dexterous. So... No, after a little while, they're going to take you off of kitchen duty, and they're going to ask you to help on deck, because of how dexterous you are. You will probably be very helpful. Actually, climb.
Scaffold.
Yeah, well, relaying message from the crow's nest, and probably making sure everything is secure, cleaned, but on the mast and on places where less dexterous person would have a challenge. So mostly you're gonna do a lot of climbing.
Yeah. I'm trying to gain some muscle.
Every once in a while, you see your new audience. You see your new kobold friend coming out on the deck, carrying food, and looking fairly satisfied with whatever he's doing. At all time, you do see the half-orc priestess on deck. Guiding everyone. She does spend a lot of time casting the guidance spell, but mostly she listens at the wind and tells the captain and whoever is at the wheel where is the most favorable wind corridor or slight course change that will help them stay ahead of the time they had planned. She is a priestess of the sea and of the wind, so it is her main duty. Every so often you see her cast a spell and you feel the boat going a little bit faster for a few hours and then goes back to normal. The first day comes and go. Nothing special happens. The sea looks fairly calm. You don't meet any other boat. Is there anything you'd like to do other than your duties during that day?
I'll probably go around and like mingle with the sailors, try and learn their names, be friendly, tell jokes. You know.
Would I see the kobold?
Charismatic guy.
Every once in a while, you see a kobold appearing on deck, then disappearing again. He mostly carries around food and does a little bit of cleaning. He appears to be enjoying himself.
I want to talk to him.
All right. He seems very busy. How do you start a conversation?
Hey, what's your name, little kobold?
Oh, hi. Hello. Well, apparently everyone also likes to call me Grim here, so we're gonna go with that. What's your name?
My name is Tobiyashi. It is honor meeting you, and I'm gonna bow to him.
When you bow, he says, "You don't have to get down to my size. It's all right." And he extends a hand toward you.
Wow. Okay. Well,
You see, he's very honest in what he just said. He really thought you were trying to lower yourself to his size.
Oh no! I was just greeting you. It's just something that I do.
Oh, okay. Do I have to do the same thing? I don't mind. What do I have to do?
Just bow like this, and I bow again.
All right. Well, he awkwardly does the same thing. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right.
Fine.
Well, you learn new stuff every day. That's fun.
Yeah. I just have one question.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah. How do you spell your name?
I don't know. No one ever spelled it for me.
And is there a reason that you think that people always call you Grim?
Well, I think it's because of everything they ask me to do. When I was in my tribe, they always said, well, we're going to give the Grim task to him. So everyone called me Grim.
Okay. Well, I don't think that's pretty fair. Well, I hope to see you more often through this trip, and just remember, if anything happens, go next to the big dragon guy.
Oh yes, I've seen him, but there are others in the boat. I've seen two others. There's the big guy at the wheel, and there's another one below deck.
Oh yeah, they pop up everywhere now and again, but the one that talks about dragons all the time is a little bit much at times.
Oh no, he's fine.
Well, it was nice meeting you, and I gotta go.
Oh, it was nice meeting you too. And if you want to talk too, I'll be on the boat for the next 3 days, I hope. You know, if no one tries to push me overboard.
I say, I bow, and then
he bows.
Continue work.
Bye.
See ya.
Anything else you'd like to do for this day? The day passes without any problem. You don't meet any other boats. There are no strong weather or anything. So, if you want to do anything other than your duties, you're going to be cleaning and doing stuff like this for most of the day. There is a break when everyone, or at least one shift, goes to eat. You're probably gonna meet each other during those lunch break. There's another one at the end of the day, and then there's the night shift.
I'm trying to sleep.
So you're not gonna take the night shift.
No.
What are the other crew members doing on their break?
Well, I'd say very sailory stuff. Most of them are just probably playing some kind of card game in the corner.
Can I join in on that?
Yeah, sure. As you join, one says, "Well, are you planning to bet on these game, or are you just here to be friendly?" It's a human that says that.
Oh, I'm here to play to win.
Okay.
Very competitive.
Okay. We're not gonna roll for every hand, but I'm gonna say
I want to be sleeping nearby.
you'll be sleeping nearby.
Yeah.
All right. So it would be what would be a card game?
21.
Isn't there a game where you have like to roll the dice with a cup
Maybe like
and get a higher
deception?
number than the other
Maybe
one?
like deception for bluffs. I don't.
Well,
know.
no. If you want to cheat, it would be sleight
Well,
of hand.
that'd be
Yes,
cheating,
bluffing,
But
deception.
I don't want to cheat.
Bluffing, deception. Well, that could also work.
What would be like a luck roll? I don't know. Like. Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. We're gonna go with because you're going to play for maybe half an hour or an hour. We're gonna go with your passive insight. But after that, we're going to go for deception. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. Deception.
So should I roll deception?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see how good I am at bluffing. I got a 16. Apparently pretty decent.
Apparently there are many kinds of bluffing. You don't necessarily have to bluff by being all serious. You can always be exuberant even if you have a bad hand. That is also a kind of bluffing. Oh, I think we lost audience.
I'll probably just be like, oh, can you not hear me?
Your camera is having a lot of problem. The image was very choppy, so I was having a lot of trouble understanding.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, you're back now. You just froze up for a second.
Okay, I think my internet probably just had a slow moment.
All right.
Yeah, I said I'll probably be like very joking, like always clapping everyone on the back, like just like constantly, like super like,
okay,
like, oh, I won, or oh, just like super exuberant, but like all hands, so like no one can ever really get a read.
Yeah, sure. Oh, it goes well with your nature. You do see during the game at one point, you notice a halfling around the table. You think he's cheating.
How sure am I, like, that he's cheating? Do I, like, see him, like, specifically do a cheating thing, or do I suspect?
No, actually, you saw him because he dropped a card that was hidden in his sleeve, but no one else saw it.
Alright, when I see him drop it, I'll be like, hey, you dropped a card. He's cheating. I'll point him out.
Well, immediately everyone looks at him and they sort of really get mad very, very easily. Hey, you said you weren't going to do this anymore. You really can't trust those little... He said, I wasn't. I wasn't. Why did you keep... I didn't. It's an accident.
I'll be like, kick him out of the table.
Be careful if they would kick him out of the boat.
Well, yes, I'm going
Throw
to
him overboard.
I'm going to say
Well,
be
wait for him
very
to say, "Walk
specific
the
in what
plank."
you say.
No, I'm like kick him off the table. He doesn't get to play.
I'll have you do a persuasion roll. Okay. It's not gonna be high DC because everyone saw him because of what you said.
Does a 10 do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it does. He gets thrown out of the table, and all the earnings he had gets suspended. They just put it back inside the pot at the center, and so, well, that'll teach him. And you hear another one say, I think he just lost all of his wage for the trip.
Shouldn't have cheated.
No, you should never cheat. It's not good to cheat. And when this one says that, you hear one say,
So what's my positive negative at the end of the game? With the 16 deception.
Yeah, with a 16. You end with... Well, actually, you've won a fair bit of money.
This is not going to help my gambling addiction. Okay, I'm just going to get a gamble. It's going to be like, I'm great at this.
At the end of the night, you end up pocketing 4 gold piece, 9 silver, and 31 copper.
Oh, alright. Big haul.
Yep, so now we got a holy man with a gambling problem.
Gosh.
So 4 gold, 9 silver.
What could go wrong, am I right?
34.
He's a paladin. If he passes by in front of church and he sees poor children, he's gonna be poor again. So not gonna affect much.
I gave 7 gold away just to have a song wrote. You know, I let gold flows freely.
So he has a gambling addiction, but doesn't know how to handle the money otherwise.
Yeah, if he wins anything, it just goes to charity in one form or another. So,
yeah.
The first homeless child he's going to see, he's going to give him half of what he earned. So, yeah, don't worry about it.
Gambling with an honor.
It's a dragonborn. What did you expect? All right, so evening goes by really easily. Tobiyashi, you fall asleep for having worked all day, and yeah, with your point of exhaustion, you just fall asleep like a rock. Audience, do you want to help people during the night shift, or do you want to take a well-deserved rest?
Am I asked to help during the night shift?
You can ask. You haven't been asked, but if you feel you are strong enough to add this to your burden, yes, you can ask for it.
I've been working hard all day. I'll go sleep, but if I'm asked, I'll definitely help. So
Okay.
I'll go sleep. But if someone is like, "Hey, can you help me?" I'll go help.
Okay. Well, night goes by eventless, as far as you can tell. When you wake up in the morning, well, it's a bit of a strange feeling. You haven't really lived on a boat for... Well, no, actually, audience, you did live through this a fair amount of time, but Tobiyashi, it's really one of the first time that you actually live on a boat for over 24 hours. So it's a bit of an adjustment.
A big boat.
Yes, it is a merchant boat. The boat itself is fairly lightly equipped. There are a lot of sails, and you did notice that there are weapons on the boat, but it's nothing very impressive. As you wake up during the morning, you see that a few people seem to be slightly agitated.
I'll ask around. I spent all the last day learning everyone's names, so I feel like I kind of know some of the crew now. I'll ask around. I'll be like,
I'm gonna go to the deck.
Yeah, and since I really am not looking forward to inventing 24 names, I just
ask around.
I'm just going to give you those that you actually know or that have some importance. So as you know, the captain is Tonkout. The halfling that you met, that Valtteri was friend with, is Sunis. He's mostly assigned to cleaning. The half-orc priestess is Kantal. I think that's the most important people that you'll get to see while you're there. The first mate, well, I believe I did say it was Corn Thief. Yeah, that's about it. That's all the names that you actually need. You don't really need to know the cook by name, unless you really have some very special needs and you're planning on talking to him for extended period of time. And of course, well, you have Grim on the deck. So
I guess. I mean, I'd probably honestly just go ask some of the crew members that I played like poker with today. So it's not really. I guess I can pick.
Yeah.
Someone who I would know.
You see one very easily. You recognize one from when you were playing. So what do you do?
I'll just go up to him and I'm like, hey, everyone seems kind of agitated this morning. You know why?
Well, actually, yes. During the night, someone saw something on the sea. They're a bit stressed about this. It's a bit early for pirate season, but there seemed to be a boat following us.
I'll give him a kind of a clap on the back, and I'm like, well, if it's pirates, we'll send them to the bottom, if you know what I mean, and give him a wink, and then kind of walk away.
Well, you do get a small chuckle from him, but yeah, he still feels a bit unsettled by this. Tobiyashi, do you do anything?
I would do the same thing. I'd go to one of the sailors and ask them why everybody's on edge.
Well, he mostly says the same thing. Yeah, actually, he says exactly the same thing. I was rolling to see if he knew anything more, but he got the exact same roll as the one before. So, he tells you exactly the same thing. A boat was spotted during the night. It's a bit unusual because they're following this boat, but right now they're keeping at a fair distance.
Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye out and let anybody know if I see it. I guess I'll start to work again.
Okay. Audience?
I'm actually gonna go find Tobiyashi.
Okay.
I mean, I'll go find him. So I assume I find him because we're on a boat.
Yeah, well, if you don't see him right away, someone will be able to tell you where he is.
Yeah.
Climbing up the scaffolding.
You know, aside from him and Grim, there aren't anybody else who looks.
I'll climb up after him on the scaffolding.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, you find him on. I'm not sure how it's called. The ropes that the sort of ladder. Oh, sorry. The rope.
Like
The
the rigging or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't know why the words just don't want to come out. The ladders made out of ropes that helps you go all the way up if you want to. So you find him in there. I really should have checked what that was called.
Alright. I'll be like, hey, Tobiyashi.
Hey, how's your travel been?
It's been quite good. Did you hear about the boat that's been following us?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to keep an eye out for it, making sure that it doesn't sneak up on us and get us.
You think it's pirates?
It might be, but it could be maybe like a military boat. Anything of these natures.
So you're trying to see what's chasing the boat. Is that right?
Yeah.
Make a
Trying to look
perception.
back.
Make a perception roll.
Okay. Oh, wrong one. Oh, what?
You are no longer exhausted, so you are making a regular roll.
17.
That's better. Actually, you do see what the crew is worried about. There is a fairly large ship that is following you.
What does it look like?
It's like I said, it's fairly large. The cells look black, and from what you can make out of this, because you had a decent perception roll, the cells look a little bit worn out. The boat itself has an ominous feeling about it. It's very dark. The wood is dark. Like I said, the cells are black. And it does appear like there is two lights on the hull pointing towards your boat. You're not sure what it is, though. You have never seen this before.
I say, hey, audience. I kind of like slap him, and I say, look, you see that boat?
I'll look
Give
in the
me the
direction
creep.
he's pointing.
Well, I'll make you do a perception roll with advantage because
Yeah,
he is
I'm rolling.
showing you exactly where you should look.
It's like right there. Can't you see it?
I got a 16.
16. Well, that's almost as good. Well, yes, you see this same boat, very ominous, with black sail, dark wood. The sails look a little bit worn out. You can't make out the two lights that he's talking about, though.
Okay. I'll be like, yes. Doesn't really look like a merchant vessel, does it?
Yeah, it looks pretty old. Like it shouldn't be on the sea.
Yeah.
It's a ghost ship.
We should
Gosh, Davey.
we should probably go tell the captain.
All right. Well, I start to quickly climb down and go to where the captain is.
All right, I will also climb down and go to where the captain is. I'll follow
Okay.
him.
Well, you go see the captain, and he just says, "Oh yes, I have been made aware of this." And Tobiyashi, what description do you give the captain?
I say there's a black pirate ship coming from behind us. It has some torn down sails and glowing lights on it.
Okay. So he says, yes, I have been made aware of this. And it does worry us. Those two dots of light you're describing are artillery cannons. They've been pointing them at us ever since we saw them. But we are too far out of range. We're not a warship. Our defenses are fairly weak. We're
Do you think it's
hoping
gaining on?
I think it is, but I'm hoping we can get close enough to the coast before they get to us. Patrol ships are a little bit more rare this time of season because there aren't enough trouble at sea. But the closer we get to the coast, the more chance we have of meeting a patrol ship. So I'm hoping we can get there before they can reach us. That is, if they don't have a mean to accelerate more than what they are presently doing.
You think if we did come into confrontation with them that we would lose?
It depends. Depends on exactly what they want to do. If they only want to blow us to pieces, they're probably fairly well armed. I'm not sure we would have much of a chance, but if they are just planning on looting the ship, well, even if we're not very well armed, they might let everyone live. But I'm still hoping we can outrun them.
Well, hopefully. If something does happen,
I'll say if they try to loot us, we'll instead loot them. Haha.
Well, I like the attitude, but I would restrain myself. Remember, little one. And when he says that, it's a bit funny because you are maybe an inch taller than him. But he's addressing you more as
younger.
Being a younger, yes.
Yeah.
He says, remember, little one. Sometimes you have to choose when to fight and when not to fight. And even when you are supposed to fight, starting a fight at the right moment can give you a significant advantage.
I'll kind of nod, but it kind of also at the same time it kind of goes over my head. Like I'm like, I hear you, but I'm not exactly sure what you mean by it.
I hear you, but I'm just not listening.
I hear you, but I hear the word fight, and I don't understand patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So, well, the day goes by, and you can feel the tension rising on the boat because the other boat is gaining. It does appear more and more that the only chance this boat has is to outrun the ship to their final destination.
Are there little boats on the ship? That's a question.
Well, yeah, you usually have a few, but it's not enough to evacuate the ship. And if you do try to evacuate on that, you are in high sea essentially right now. It would be a bit rough.
Not my plan.
All right.
He wants to be part of the other ship.
There usually are a few. I think usually it's called a longboat, but I'm not sure. I might be mistaken with the Viking boats. But yeah, they usually have a small boat for going from ship to ship or retrieving something in the ocean.
I'll continue to just go around, try and keep the morale of the crew up, crack jokes, be my confident, self.
I'm gonna look around and look how much gunpowder and stuff is on the ship.
Well, actually, we're not in a pirate setting. The naval setting in Shattered Continent is a bit more toward magic. There aren't a lot of things like cannons or such. Usually when a ship talks about its defenses, it has wards, crystal wards, acting as barrier around it. And some ships do have catapults or ballistas, but when you go one step above this, usually find magical weapons. So it's variation of lightning spells, fireball spells, but on a building level size.
Okay.
They do have some you're not very sure because you've never actually seen arcane ballistas from up close. You think they have some, at least one on each side, but unless you start asking questions, that's about it. You've noticed that they seem to have at least one warding crystal on board, so they have a small amount of protection.
Okay. I will start asking the captain about his defenses and how many things he has on his ship, just to be sure.
Well, we are mostly equipped for speed, so we do have two crystal wards to help us defend against attacks, and only 2 ballistas. Fortunately, they are not fixed on a side, so we can move them to each side, meaning we can actually answer with two ballistas no matter where the enemy is. And we're hoping that whomever is chasing us will decide not to attack if we show that we have those ballistas, because the 2 dots of light that you can see are also ballistas, so we know they have at least 2. That is, if they are not single direction ballistas. If they are, then we don't know how many they have on the sides.
Yeah. Well, could I gather a couple men to move them? Would we be able to move them to the back of the ship?
For what reason?
Warning shot up in the air, just closer to them so they could see it. Just in case they shoot us, we could shoot back at them.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to provoke
as
them.
We're running away. Okay.
But if they do get too close, we might.
Because we don't want to have to turn the ship all the way around to attack then.
No, don't worry. Those ballistas can actually turn on their own. Ballista that aren't fixed actually gather the energy to fire outside of the boat, meaning that you only need to put it at the center of the boat, and it's going to fire in whatever direction that you need.
Okay. And that's about it. Hopefully we could go fast enough.
Yeah.
I hope too. Audience, as you are trying to boost the morale of everyone, you notice one on board that seems to have a fairly high moral. Grim. He just walks about, doing his business, seems to be very content with what is happening, and, well, wonders a bit why everyone seems so stressed.
I'll go walk up to him. I'm like, how's it going, Grim?
Well, it's not going grim. I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good. I'll be like, do you know what's going on with the other ship?
Well, I've heard people saying there's another ship, but isn't it normal when you're at sea?
I'll say, so there's the possibility of it could be a pirate ship, and I just want to let you know that if we get into a conflict with it, you should come find me. I'll help protect you.
Oh, okay. That sounds fairly easy. And don't worry, I am Dragon.
I'll be like, I'll do the I guess that version of like a fist bump, like Dragon Team Unite. Lord, I don't know.
He looks at you a bit awkwardly, sort of trying to mimic what you're doing, but you're doing it faster than him. Oh no, okay. Okay. Yeah. That.
When they finally meet, does he like knock him back like 4 feet or something?
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you manage to fist bump him, he's gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll break his hand by accident there.
Ah, dude, I like this guy.
Dislocates his shoulder.
I am Dragon. That's my man right there.
The dragon. Now I know why they call him Grim.
Well, there's more to his story. Oh, maybe one day you'll know. If you survive whatever fight is coming.
God.
So, as the day moves forward, unfortunately, the other boat seems to be gaining, and fairly fast. Toward noon, the speed of the other boat seems to double magically. You see the boat starting to get closer and closer, and it becomes obvious that you can't actually avoid meeting that other boat. As this becomes more obvious, you maybe around 1 o'clock, unless one of you wants to do something before then.
Nope.
Around 1 o'clock, you hear someone on the crow's nest scream, "Boat on approach!"
Yeah.
So you,
Alright.
you see the boat starting to move, so you can see the broadside of the boat. And just when you start to see what the broadside looks like, you hear someone scream as loud as they can, "Energize the barrier! Energize the barrier!" And you hear someone else shouting the instruction back, and another one, and you see this projectile. Oh goodness, because the battery's almost dead, he's not letting me. Alright. Well, that just adds to the suspense. So as you hear this echoing inside the boat, you see two dots of light emanating from the boat and rushing toward your boat. Fortunately, one of these energy ball strikes the barrier as it is forming, but the second one passes through a region of the barrier that hasn't formed yet, and as it strikes the ship, it explodes in a roaring fire very similar to a fireball. It hits the main bridge where the captain is, and you hear immediately people screaming, "Fire! Fire!" What do you do?
Gosh, I would run up on the deck.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up to check on the captain. I'm gonna see what happened. I'm gonna go run to the damage, where the damage was done. See if I can help anyone.
Yeah, same.
All right. Well, both of you rush to the deck, and you see that there are a few people injured. No one seems dead. The captain is getting back up on his feet, but he seems to have taken the brunt of this explosion. One of his arms seems badly burned. But he is taking back the wheel and trying to steer it one-handed, as whomever was there before is trying to get up, but he seems to have taken quite a hit and is having trouble standing up on his own.
I'm gonna turn to Tobiyashi, because I assume he's next to me, or we're near each other, because we both rushed to the same area. I'm gonna be like, "We need to grab buckets and put out the fire quickly."
Okay, wait, where are we gonna get the water from?
The ocean.
Okay, alright, then I rush to go get some water.
Yeah, sure. You don't have any problem finding, as other crew members are starting to gather around buckets, and they use ropes to just throw the bucket inside the sea and getting it back up. You see the priestess using spells to just gather a whole bunch of water and guiding it toward where the fire is. So you fairly easily control the fire. And as you are trying to control this fire, you even see Grim doing his best, running with a bucket on his head, trying to get up the stairs before the fire is out. Well, you mostly succeed, but there is not much water left in his bucket when he does reach the deck. But he is trying to help. And actually, when you see him just throw the bucket and see that there's not a lot of water in it, you see just looking around and says, "Oh, that's an easy thing. That's an easy thing to do." And he just gets close to the flame and closes his hand, and you see the flame snuff out. And he starts doing that to every little place where there is small fires.
All right, I'm gonna go and see that he kind of seems to be in control of the fire. I'm gonna shout to the captain. Should we fire back, Captain?
Trying to look at the ship to see if there's anybody on board the other ship.
The other ship, make a perception roll.
Okay.
Just get a see where the. Oi! Should we fire back, Captain?
13.
Just randomly.
What did you get?
13.
13. Actually, no, you don't see much, and there seems to be something keeping the boat very obscured. So you can see the boat, but you can't see inside of it, like the deck has been slightly obscured by some sort of inky fog. The captain says, "Well, we actually don't have any other solution. We at least have to try to intimidate this boat, just in case." And as he says that, the barrier gets hit with another volley, except this time it's not two explosive round that explodes on the side. They look like pure energy, force lance, if you will. Force beam just striking the side, and there's 4 of them. And you hear someone screaming. Well, the boat rocks fairly hard. You see everyone just jerk around a little bit, and I'm going to have make you, audience and Tobiyashi, a dexterity saving throw.
16.
Natural 20.
Oh, well. Tobiyashi, you almost don't feel it. You just see everyone just... And what? Something happened? Oh, okay. Audience, you keep your balance fairly easily, but you do notice that Tobiyashi barely notice that the boat has been struck. It gets struck several times, and you see the barrier reacting to every hit. You hear someone screaming, "Barrier holding!"
Shields at 40%, Captain.
I look over
actually,
the audience.
what I'm giving is the condition. I have a little table around here with each condition of the barrier. So right now the barriers are holding.
I have a question. How far is this boat from the other boat?
Right now they are about 300 feet from one another.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we couldn't board the ship.
No, not at 300 feet. Not unless you have teleportation spells.
Or Trevor
I just
will need.
jump. Just jump.
Just jump into the ocean.
Swim over. No.
That'll save me.
I'm gonna go over to the ballista and try and like push them or like get them into position to fire back.
All right. Well,
I'm pretty strong.
As you go there, you ask where the ballistas are. They tell you that it's inside the hull of the ship. You go.
Yeah, I'll go to the ballistas.
So you go. You try and get there as fast as you can. While you're going, you make another dexterity saving throw. Tobiyashi also.
Okay.
Another 16. Same roll.
15.
This time, Tobiyashi, you actually do feel it a little bit, but you both stay on your feet. and you hear this echo from audience. You hear the echo, but Tobiashi, you actually hear the person screaming that the barrier are still holding. Audience, when you get down below, you get to where the ballistas are, but what you see is some sort of huge magical contraction, and it's not in contact with the hull, but there is someone sitting on it, and the contraption turns on itself towards roughly where the enemy boat is. That's what you see.
Okay, but I don't see him fire or anything.
No, but you see him touch a few levers and a few crystals, but that's it. But you do hear something from outside coming from very close, and you don't feel the boat rocking when you hear it. So,
all right, I give kind of a confused look towards the contraption, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm useless here," and start heading back up to the top.
So Tobiashi, from where you are, you can actually see that the boat did fire 2 shots at the enemy boat. The enemy boat seems unaffected by the hit. It also has barriers.
Okay. I have no idea what to do.
Pray to the dragons.
I'm gonna go to the captain and suggest boarding the other ship if we could get close enough.
The captain lets out a nervous chuckle when you say this, and I doubt we have enough manpower to board such a large ship.
We ought to try. If we just sit here, we're just gonna get exploded.
Boarding a ship does mean we actually have to let them catch up to us.
I don't know what else to do then. I'm gonna go up to the top of the ship and I guess just wait.
All right. The chase isn't obvious. The other boat managed to catch up to you in a burst of speed, but the burst of speed seems to have vanished, and it is keeping up with the ship, but that isn't actually reaching the side of the ship. However, it is in a position where it can fire several times at the ship, and the chase actually lasts for almost an hour, with the barrier of the ship being struck repeatedly by enemy fire, and the ship also trying to fire back, but their weapons seems to just bounce off their barrier. And someone at one point does say that they believe the enemy barrier has started to weaken a little bit, but before they actually say this, you hear someone saying that your barriers are weakening, and as they say that the enemy barriers seems to be weakening, you hear someone screaming, "Barriers are buckling."
Oof. Jeez.
Alright. I'm gonna turn to Toby. I'm back on deck at this point, I assume, because I went back up.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn to Tobiashi and I'm like, I don't know what to do. This isn't my speed. If I can't hit something, I don't know what to do.
I honestly have no idea. Is there like what's controlling the shields?
The barrier, it is a large crystal. Actually, you learned there are 2 crystals. It's 2 large crystals inside the hull of the ship.
Uh-huh.
They are projecting a barrier, probably similar to Liamon's tiny hut, but made to endure siege equipment.
Oh. I have no idea. I just hope that we could get through this. What should we do? I guess just start up in the other shield. We can.
They keep firing, and as the second hour passes, eventually someone starts screaming, brace for impact, brace for impact, shield arc. Sorry, you're influencing me. That's not nice. Barrier are collapsing. And as someone screams that, barrier collapsing, brace for impact, the ship gets rocked by incredibly powerful blast. These one actually do explode, and part of the hull of your ship gets obliterated.
Well, that's not good.
The ship is not sinking, however. Well, I'm both gonna make you do dexterity saving throws.
Ooh. Oh boy. I got a nat 1.
21.
All right. Well,
I was not ready for. I did not brace for impact. I was too overconfident.
All right. Well, Tobiyashi, you instinctively brace for impact when you hear that. Unfortunately, audience, you, not knowing what to do, feeling a little bit lost, you just look in the direction of this huge fireball coming, and you get thrown all the way to the railing behind you, and you do take 6 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Ow!
Oh gosh.
Ugh.
There is a massive hole on the side of the ship, but the ship doesn't feel like it is sinking. The main deck is heavily damaged, and where there was supposed to be a wheel, you mostly see fire and people not moving. You see the captain. You see the captain struggling to get up with a huge splinter of wood in his side. All around you, you see injured crew members, and some looks dead.
Ooh, oh my gosh. I take control of the wheel, I guess. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna help the captain try to get back up.
You help the captain get up, and you notice he is in a very rough shape. He can barely stand, and the wound on his side from the wood, from the splintered wood, is bad. He is bleeding. He is losing blood. When someone loses blood that fast, they don't survive long usually.
I yell for audience. Audience, get over here now. I start driving the ship straight, I guess.
I'm gonna get over as quickly. I'm gonna get over as quickly as I can. I'm gonna be like, oh, I think I cracked a rib. Oh.
So
is the steering wheel even still there?
Well, the ship was just hit on one side. Okay. So there's still 50% of the ship that isn't damaged, you know?
Okay, because I thought, because you said the captain also got hit, that it was on top where also the steering wheel is where they got hit.
Yes, there was a hit there, and there was a hit on the side of the boat.
I'm going to try and close... Well, I'm going to first pull out... Did anyone pull out the wood? Or is the wood still there?
No, the wood is still there. I didn't want to pull it out.
All right, I'm not that. I just walk over and I'm gonna pull out the wood.
Oh god!
Yank it out quickly.
You do take out a very large chunk of wood from his side, and the
then
blood starts pouring.
I'm gonna try and close it. I'm gonna try and close it with lay on hands after I yank it out. Like try and close the wound. How many of my lay on hands will it take to at least make me think that he's gonna kind of start closing up the wound?
You feel you're going to have to use most of it.
Okay. I have 10. So, how much of that?
Most of it would be 7 of your lay on hand hit points before the wound is sufficiently close for him not to die from the blood lost.
All right, I'll use 7 and kind of lay my hands on him, help close up the wound. I'll be like, Captain, what do we? So I say this, I'm like, Captain, we have to have a plan. We're about to be, sunk. What do we do? While I'm like healing him.
As you say this, actually, the half-orc priestess does come near you, and she hears you say this, and she says, "We don't have much of a choice. We just have to hope they're not going to sink us and just try and loot us."
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to use the last 3 points on myself, my lay on hands, to
as you were
try
about
and heal the cracked whip.
As you were about to do this, she interrupts you and says, "I'll take care of this. Keep as much as you can. We never know what they're going to try and do if they board us."
Alright.
And she does use her own spells to heal the captain.
Okay.
He's
I
not
still use the 3 hit points on myself.
yourself. Sure.
The last, so I'll use the rest of my lay on hands and I get myself back up. And basically I try and heal my cracked ribs so that I can breathe normally again.
Okay. So yes, you do this fairly easily. And as you heal yourself, you see the other ship pulling along the side of your own ship.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I see this happening, I'm going to climb down the side of our ship stealthily.
Okay, you wanna on the other side for hiding?
Yes.
Okay. You are trying to scale down the side of a ship. So yes. I am going to make you do an athletics check.
All right. Well.
12. You start climbing down the side, but you don't feel confident enough to actually try and go lower than the railing. So you still have your hands on side of the railing, but you just can't find anything to climb securely lower than this.
Okay.
So right now, the only thing that someone else can see if they look in your direction are 8 fingers holding onto the side of the ship.
I'll just try to stealth right there then.
All right, hopefully. Make a stealth roll.
Okay. 19.
Okay. So you see the other ship pulling alongside your own, and suddenly you hear this voice as at the same time as 4 dots of light appear on the side of the ship in front. You hear this voice saying, "Greeting, merchants! Seems like you have an interesting ship full of very interesting treasures. Well, you have a choice, fellow seaman. You can bow down and let us take a reward for this victory of ours, or you can fight to the death, which will occur in a few moments. Choose your destiny.
I'm gonna kind of stand in front of the captain, draw my longsword, and be like, "What do we do, Captain?" Like, kind of stand in front of him in case like anyone's gonna jump down. Like, I'm gonna take a position in front of him.
You take out your sword, but immediately the captain says, "Choose your fights." And he looks at you, and where you took your sword out, probably a scabbard. Meaning,
I mean, it's a two-handed sword, so I'm like,
from your back. Well, then in that case, he looks at whatever you were using to hold your sword on your back. Whether it was a scabbard, just flimsy chains, whatever. So choose your fight. Not now.
Alright, I'll kind of give him a nod and sheath my sword, but still stand in front of him, kind of in like a guarding position. Like, if anyone tries to kill you, I'm gonna take him out. What you said.
So you look around you and you see all of those dead crew members. You see the priestess behind you, and right now you can't see Tobiyashi. You do see Grim on the deck, looking a little bit disoriented, but he's still alive.
I'll be like, Grim, come over here. Stand next to me.
And as Grim starts making his way to you, you hear the captain saying as you stand up, "We surrender."
I'm gonna start making my way around the boat, sneakily, like on the side of a pool, you know.
Toward the center of the boat, or toward the
to the other boat, where I can go to the other side of the other boat.
Okay. And we are 1 minute away from finishing this stream, so this is where this session will end. So, on the next session, you can expect boat action and, well, how do you want to call this?
RP.
Talking with Trevor and Valtteri inside of Ardo?
Yeah, just traveling discussions. Yeah.
Are you ready for me to compel duel their captain to a one-on-one duel for the ship?
Well, follow what the captain says. Maybe you will get to use this. Choose your battle.
You and me 1v1 right here, right now.
I just might be trying to get back on the ship to do something interesting.
I mean, if you can do it, you maybe can persuade the captain of the other pirate ship to make a 1v1, and if he loses, that he leaves here, guys.
If you lose, we're his slaves. Forever.
I'll guess you will all get to see how the party will survive this next session.
Well, let's be honest, half the party. The other half, I don't think I
Yeah, the other half are relaxing on a sofa in the Vardo.
I'm still happy with my decision.
We'll see if you're still happy by the end of the next session.
You know, at the beginning of the session, I regret going through the portal. Now I don't.
Yeah, at least for right now. You know, what's to come, might change our minds, but right now, I'm happy.
Well,
Beholder is the captain of the ship.
I expected that much. What I'm wondering is, by the end of the next session, if there won't be some little regrets.
Who knows?
All right, so
The Black Eyed Peas are the...
For the viewers, goodbye everyone.
Goodbye.
Hope we'll see you again
Goodbye.
next session.
Bye.
Bye.